Chapter 9. External factor complications. Exterior factors can overly complicate your Saturn return. Example: a pandemic or a sudden illness, a death in the family, or other tragedies out of our control. People who experienced their Saturn return, as Saturn in Aquarius in 2020, had a much difficult Saturn return than people who did not experience theirs during a pandemic that was out of their control. Relatives getting sick or one's own health complications are other factors that are out of one's control, that can also affect your experience during Saturn return. Having babies during Saturn return. People who have babies during their Saturn return will have the same timing as their children on their next Saturn return, which can be chaotic. A parent who had a baby during their first Saturn return will experience a second Saturn return at the same time as their now 28-year-old who will be starting their own first Saturn return, so it can be a difficult time in the family. More than 2 members in a family experiencing Saturn returns at the same time can test the most out of a family. However, as we have mentioned before, Saturn return is not a communal experience. Saturn return is a personal experience, although millions of people go through Saturn return at the same time. While members of a family can support each other through a hard but necessary time as is Saturn return, no one is responsible for a person's Saturn return but that same person. Worried parents can enable their children's bad behavior or addictions during their adult children's first Saturn return, because their tolerance for seeing their child suffer because of the consequences of their own actions is very low. Parents have to be careful to not be enablers for addictions, when their adult children will go through the pushing energy of Saturn's elimination to let go of the addictions. Do we have any control over Saturn return? Absolutely. We do have control over our experience during Saturn return, but we might not truly love the result of all of our decisions. We have the option to ignore Saturn. You can ignore it. Millions of people have and will ignore the elimination force of the cosmos through their Saturn return, but their lives will not progress and they will remain stuck in a loop they don't fully understand. People who ignore the pushes of Saturn to eliminate and consolidate tend to be underachievers in the next stage of life and constantly complain about everything in the world. Their lives cannot evolve nor improve, because in order to progress in life one must eliminate and consolidate, but their choice was otherwise. People who reject the gift from Saturn will inevitably stay imprisoned to their old addictions and suffering inside relationships that aggravate their lives. Saturn return was a gift from the cosmos to help you evolve in this lifetime into a better, improved next stage of your adulthood, but many people didn't want it. Many people are in love with their addictions, and the soothing warmth of rotting addictions is better for them than the bareness of sobriety or singlehood. A lot of people miss their first Saturn return, but have more time to prepare for their second Saturn return. A 30-month storm. Saturn return will feel like a storm. A 2.5-year storm. You will have to make hard rational decisions in moments of sadness and frustration. Being rational in hard, difficult times is one of the essential human skills you'll have to practice to navigate the storm of Saturn return. If you do, you'll reach a new land of peace after the storm is over, because it will be over. Nothing lasts forever. The only benefit for knowing about Saturn return is to be aware and to be rational, unlike those who don't know that they are experiencing a Saturn return. Being rational allows us to react better and to take better life choices. Saturn return is very complex and difficult to endure, but with rationality the rest of your experience will get easier and your life will improve afterwards. That's the promise of Saturn return. It's the not-so-obvious gift from Saturn. Letting go of emotional impulse during Saturn return on moments of hardship and betrayal is abnormal on most people, but essential on people who succeed post-Saturn return.